Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast is now on YouTube. Go on YouTube and search Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast and click that subscribe button to never miss an episode. Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. I am one of your hosts today, Wrestling Chris G, and on the other line with me is the dog himself, good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, man, how you doing?
That's just lazy. I'm not blaming you too much because we weren't 100% sure we were doing this one tonight.
Oh, come on. You didn't like my bark?
It's like, pull back the curtain a little bit. It's better than next week.
Oh, man. If you guys want to laugh at a nickname, wait until you jump into next week. Yeah, we already did next week's episode because it's with a guest. But I guess we can kind of open up with it at this point, Doug.
Yeah, we can open up with it. We'll probably touch on it a little bit at the end as well. But yeah, we were blessed enough to be joined by one of our good friends.
Yeah. Her name is Mel.
I was gonna use a wrestling podcast name for a minute. Then I was like, wait a minute.
No, yeah, that's what I was about to say. So I mean, if you're a longtime listener of Sports Entertainment Breakdown, it's MC Mel. She's returning to the podcasting world, and she has a little announcement that she's going to make for all of you. But other than that, me and you, we just wanted a friend on, like one of our personal friends, and to have like C Note on to kind of joke around, because these are people that we talk to all the time, and it's nice to just have them on a podcast every once in a while.
Yeah, but he's not returning our calls.
Yeah, I know. I did talk to him today, and he said he's down for next week. We just got to let him know what episode.
Oh, well, then we should have said something, unless we're not doing right away.
We'll see. I have an idea.
I was going to say, because
the season finale.
The plan originally was to do
back
to back, but I think we've kind of come off that a little bit.
Yes. But I'll let them know.
I was going to say something, but I can't remember. What it was.
Well,
no, I was gonna, because you mentioned MC Mel makes an announcement next week.
Yes,
and just by the nature of recording and stuff getting put in the can for later date, there's a strong possibility that by the time you're even hearing this episode, her stuff could be out in a while.
Yes, correct, Doug. So
I mean, that's obviously not for us to 100% confirm or deny.
But we're also recording this a couple months before anything happens. So I just want to throw that out there.
Exactly.
She's going to be making her podcasting return next week. And it was nice talking to her. We actually, we did her podcast right before we were doing this one. So we're kind of working in reverse for a week, but we're still getting both episodes in.
So, and since we're here, and since we've got another kind of lighter episode. I have a bit of a bone to pick with you.
Oh.
Um,
Uh-oh.
as it relates to, because we've made note of, check the description for next week's episode, for some MC mail information.
Yes.
I took a gander at the episode description for the latest episode that hit the feeds.
Yes.
And the problem with Paris, and I found a problem in the description.
Uh-oh.
And it's a very slight problem.
Did I make a oopsie?
And if you weren't looking, well, I wasn't looking for it, but it kind of smacked me in the face a little bit.
Okay.
There was a typo.
Oh. Uh-oh.
So if I can find it.
Let's see. Oh no. No. Did you hear that?
Did I hear what?
Our podcast started playing for a second.
Ah.
The intro to our podcast.
Podcast Inception.
It's that, oh boy, where do we begin this week? During their journey, our heroes come across a very unsure Paris and its trainer who needs Paris to gain confidence in order to evolve. The problem seems to be a lot deeper than everyone, though. Will our heroes be able to help? Let's watch and find out.
Did you not mean the problem seems to be deeper than anyone thought?
Well, no. Deeper than everyone. Oh, thanks. My bad. Yeah, or thought. Yes, that is what I meant, and I am updating that. So over.
Oh, don't update it now. It's already been out for a week.
It's not going to mess with anything, but it's
not important. It's just like I was going through and reading it, and I kept getting stuck on that part. I was like, I must be overthinking
this. So, all right, but that was your bone. We talked about MC.
Hey, you leave my bone out of this.
That was too easy. So, so this week's episode is episode 52, The Case of the K-9 Caper, or translated from Japanese, Gardie the Police Dog.
Yeah, you got to give me the American one on this one.
Why is that?
I like it better. I just like Gardie the Police Dog doesn't tell me anything about the episode. It just sounds like a knockoff version of Clifford the Big Red Dog or something, or McGruff the Crime Dog or something. The Case of the K-9 Caper, at least you go, oh shit, there's some trouble that our heroes are going to have to help fix or, take control of. Gardie the Guard Dog is just it's a description. It's not like what happens to Gardie?
It's just Gardie the Guard Dog.
Does he find a bone? Does he climb a tree? What happens to Gardie?
He does everything because Gardie is the police dog.
He's the police.
So, this episode was aired in Japan July 16th, 1998, and here in the States, April 10th, 1999. We are well into this whole episodes are dropping weekly, Doug.
Yes. For a while there, we were smack in the middle of 5 new ones a week, and do you think that was just a matter of
someone bought the rights to Pokemon, and when they originally aired it before Kids WB, they were like, "Oh, this is actually really popular."
Right, because as we've noted in pretty much every episode, the Japan air dates are so far ahead. Pardon me, of where they end up. In America, it's like in some cases it's like half a year or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Which, in today's world, with Pokemon, it's, I guess, in a way, they had almost caught up with each other. They were, I believe, they were a couple. I can't confirm right now, but I believe they're up to only a month or so behind of Japan from when it airs here.
oh, that's not bad.
No. So, and I believe the reasoning, well, but with Netflix actually made it more than that because they're still dropping weekly in Japan, but here they're dropping in bulks on Netflix. So, yeah,
Oh,
it's a
well,
weird
yeah,
thing.
yeah, because Netflix got that streaming deal.
Yeah. So, all right. Doug, I know damn well that since mine was in 2012 that you beat me this week because I'm never gonna go first.
Well, don't say it like that. Have a little faith in yourself.
So am I going first?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, you asshole. Oh man, you had my ears perk up for a second, you dick.
Yeah, that's just because you're coming down.
We're not talking about that.
No, that's next week. On this date, April 10th, 1953.
Oh, I beat you. I should be going first.
I'm sorry.
Mine's in 1934.
Yeah, you're fucking weird.
You go, you asshole.
I would happily bow out. In 1953, House of Wax, the first color 3D movie, premieres in New York.
Really? The first 3D movie?
Well, the first color 3D movie. And I can clarify on that.
Please.
House of Wax is the first color 3D. And I'm only going to say color 3D about 5 more times, so pay attention.
Okay.
The first black and white 3D, entitled Man in the Dark, premiered 2 days before this. So we were in the middle of a real 3D boom. So this was the first color one, the first proper all together.
So okay, and I had to look this up while you were giving the description. So when you mean 3D, you're talking about the old school red and blue paper 3D glasses.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. All right.
And I have a hard time believing that there was trash can collectibles outside of the theater for your glasses. So you probably wore those glasses out. A lot of them probably got thrown away. Hopefully people hung on to those because they said, you know what, this is some kind of history.
For real.
If you're listening to this and the name House of Wax sounds familiar, you're probably thinking of that horrible
2005 feature.
Is that when it came out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only name in that movie without looking up that wiki is probably Paris Hilton.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
So, yeah, but this was obviously this is the original. It was noteworthy for the 3D aspect. I'm slightly curious, but not curious enough to look it up when I've got so many other things on my plate. Um, Hopefully, by the time this goes out, I will have checked a couple of those off my list.
All right. Thank you, Doug. Thank you. Mine is from 2012. I swear, Doug, me and you, we need to pick something within like the past like 10 years and see who can get the best one. And if I still can't go first, then there's a freaking problem.
I don't think I have to play by your rules, sir. I think you just need to look further than the first page of this website.
It might be on the first page. I just scrolled to the bottom. What's something I could talk about? All right, mine was from 2012. And on this day, Apple Incorporated claims a value of 600,000 or 600 billion, making it the world's largest company by market capitalization in the world, and it has not dropped since. It's still running 9 years later in 2021.
And I'm surprised. Like, maybe, I mean, the only ones that I could have thought would have jumped it would be Amazon, and I'm sure it's probably closed.
Oh, Amazon's I give it a couple more years and Amazon's gonna be the best.
I would imagine so.
Dude, we have an Amazon marketplace, and I know in more like richy areas, that it's a thing already. But out here in the suburbs, dude, we have an Amazon store like Mart, like a grocery store over in Naperville.
I mean, look, as long as I can click something and I can get it, by the next morning.
Well, whatever you do at night is on you, buddy.
Damn right.
I can't say anything around you. All right, finish your statement.
It's just as long as I can do that, I'm not really worried about, and I hate to say it, but I'm not really worried about brick and mortar stores. I mean, I'll still pop into a store if one's down the road, and I can just pop in and get a game and I don't have to worry about, pre-order. Like, because that was one of the things, the latest game that I ordered, they were like, you can get it because, like, one of the big draws was if you pre-ordered it, you play it, 4 days before everybody else.
Pre-order WWE 2K20 and you can play as the Fiend, even if you pre-ordered, you had to fucking unlock him.
Yeah, that was misleading. It's like, no, where is he day one? He's there. You just have to beat the tree. It's like I don't know.
But he wasn't. Though. No, that part of the game was not released until a month or so later.
Oh no, the bump in the night didn't come with. No, it didn't. You're right.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
Yeah, that was. So, but 2K22 is going to hit different. I don't know what that means, but
it's gonna hit different. It better hit different. Better scratch my asshole too.
Again, whatever you do in the privacy of your own home.
I did not mean to say that on the podcast. So
is between you and Sensational Steph.
What? How far into this are we? We're 4 minutes. Okay, that's not going to be hard to find.
No, sir. No, see, now you fucked up. Now I'm going to bring it up this is how I'm going to end sentences this week, so you can't edit it out.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
And Wrestling Christie liked his ass is scratched. So, and now Pikachu's doing this.
Shut up. All right. All right. So
next couple of weeks, we're learning a bunch about Wrestling Chris G, aren't we? Jesus Christ. Wait until y'all hear next week.
Oh, my God. Oh, fuck. At least we didn't get me telling Mel to not bother on the recording. God, that
No,
was so.
was after. That was after.
That I still can't believe I said that. All right. Okay. So episode 52, the case of the K-9 caper. I'm getting this on in my background. Are you ready on your end, Doug?
Yep, I got our trio is walking through a forest.
All right. So, bum, 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 bum. All right, go ahead and start. It's loading up for me. There we go. I got it.
So our wonderful narrator mentions that they're on their way to Cinnabar Island and the site of the seventh Pokemon gym. So at least
The volcano badge.
yes, so at least we remember that Ash should be going after badges.
Yes. Even though he's not going to go for a badge for quite a while.
Couple more, yeah, exactly. So it's like, hey, we know he should be looking, but he's not, and we know he's not, but shut up.
Yes. So, as they're walking through this forest, Jigglypuff makes an appearance, and Jigglypuff is looking around, and she's so happy, and she blows a we think she blows a whistle. Our trio turns around, they're looking around, and then they see what we think is a burglar holding a gun. Doug, he's holding a gun.
He sure is, and it made me think some things.
Please. Well, maybe because it's not pointed at a child.
Well, and that was my next thought. Like as I was watching this episode, I was like, that's clearly a gun. But then my next breath was, yeah, but it's not pointed right at Ash's head like 5 times.
Yes. So, all right, and when we see this gun, and then they have a close-up of the gun to show that it is a gun, we have a black figure that starts racing through the grass. Doug, you want to take this part?
Well, I think first we should make note of the fact that the gun just didn't materialize out of nowhere. We've got some type of thief.
Yes. No, I said it. He's a thief and he was holding a gun.
Oh, I think I was more focused on the gun. My bad.
No, you're good.
But yeah. So as our heroes are staring face to face with this guy, this is when we get the black figure darting through the trees and leaping over our heroes. And as it lands, we find out that it's a Growlithe. And we became familiar with Growlithe a couple episodes back by now.
Yes.
We had James
with his Growlithe.
Trusty Growlithe. Yeah, it was Growlithe. So that's where they get the translation here, but I still don't like it.
No, not Gardie. It was Growlithe. This one is Gardie.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Gardie and Growlithe.
Anyway,
so
this Growlithe
yes.
is confronting the burglar robber. He tackles him. The gun goes thudding to the ground.
And Ash
Pikachu jumps off of Ash's.
Yep.
Oh,
no, I'm sorry. No, I was about to say, and Pikachu jumps off of Ash's shoulder, given the instruction from his trainer to thunder shock this thief. And
he.
I'm sorry. We speak for a living. All right, I'll let you go. With all the Growlithe running over to the trio.
Yeah. So, in Pikachu and Ash's mind, they've just subdued this criminal.
Yes.
But come to find out, a pack of Growlithes comes out of the trees, Jesus Christ, out of the tall grass, and surrounds our heroes as if they've done something wrong.
Yeah, this is some bullshit. But yeah, they're staring them down, intimidating the trio, and Togepi and Pikachu looks scared, and then Officer Jenny runs over to the burglar with 2 extra cops. So this is probably one of the only times that we have actual policemen and not a whole bunch of Officer Jenny. So I want to make note of that real quick. So Officer Jenny, and she runs over to the burglar, and she asks the burglar if the burglar is okay, and he's like, I think so. And then Officer Jenny yells at the trio, like, what the hell do you guys think you're doing?
And you know, I mean, obviously we have the benefit. Well, I mean, knowing it now because we watched it. So this was a training exercise.
Yes.
You know, for the pack of Growliths, but a handful of civilians walking through the forest
would not have known.
Right, because the guy had no identification. Like, oh, he's dressed like a criminal, but like his badge is on the sack, or his badge is on his hat, or something. Just a guy walking through with the gun in a Santa's sack.
Yeah. And then we get the title credits, and we open the next scene with Ash and Dexter. And Dexter's going, Growlithe, let's see.
Puppy Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, the puppy Pokemon. I messed up. There we go. Growlithe, the puppy Pokemon. While loyal to its master, the Growlithe will drive away enemies by barking and biting. Well, no shit. But it said nothing about it being a fire Pokemon. Just want to point that out there.
And that's kind of like, because I made that comment during the Holy Matrimony. Because Growlithe just does, fire spin just out of nowhere. And I remember asking you, I said, as a viewer, do we know that that's a fire type Pokemon?
Yeah. And why does Ash have to pull out his Dexter again when he just saw a Growlithe that was named Growlithe who helped save them? That he used his Pokédex for before.
Because he definitely used it, because we heard the commotion coming from the doghouse. Or it was either then or when he bust out of the doghouse.
It was when he busted out and had them go back to the doghouse to hide out.
Right.
So yeah, he used it because Dexter became a smart iPhone and just started blurting out.
Yes, because he had been updated.
Yes. So, all right. But it's at this point that Brock looks down at the Growlithe and he's like, oh, good Growlithe, good Growlithe. And Growlithe just snarls at him and scares Brock, and Brock is like, oh no. And Ash is like, they're not gonna bite us, are they? They're just scared, and Officer Jenny has to kindly talk them down.
She said, well, they won't attack unless I tell them to. And she's like, watch this. And she has the Growlithe line up, and she says, say hello. And they all bark at the same time.
Growlithe.
And it's cute, but it's also, 10 Growlithes ready to go with the snap of a finger?
Yeah. And I have a problem with those Growlithe too. We'll get into it later in this episode, but they should be a little bit more trained in how they are. But we go straight from that to Team Rocket looking on in a tree, and they're like, wow, those Growlithe are really trained. The Pulse would certainly love that. And Meowth is like, yeah, who knows if their bark is worse than their bite? That's just a funny line. Wanted to throw that out there. Doug?
I'm sitting here, and I'm kind of wondering why they didn't have James do a throwaway line like,
at least it'll be better than the cat's meow. Ba-boom.
Better. Well, no, but I'm like thinking like, oh, I know all about raising a Growlithe or something,
Yeah,
because we
he
literally
made
just
no.
met Growlithe.
Yeah, and he made no reference to his Growlithe. I don't think we're supposed to remember that.
How are you not supposed to remember? It's not like it was a lost episode that didn't happen.
Oh yeah, I
It
know.
happened.
The fuck was this?
What are we doing back there?
Honestly, I don't know. That popped up on the computer. Sorry, everybody.
What have I told you? I've told you numerous times.
I'm looking Pokemon. That was an ad.
If you have to do that, at least pause the recording.
Oh, shut up. I'm gonna smack you. On with the episode, Doug. But yeah, James doesn't make anything any reference to Growlithe. Actually, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Because Meowth looks up at James and goes, "That sounds familiar, doesn't it?" And then they just cut to the next scene.
Well, no, but that was in reference to James saying, "I have the perfect plan to capture those puppies," and Meowth says, "Well, that sounds familiar," in reference to the fact that Team Rocket has had 50 plus plans and neither of them have come to fruition for more than 5 minutes.
Okay, we'll go with that. That's a lot better of an answer than me. So, we go to Officer Jenny, and Officer Jenny, who has, let me see, what kind is that? An octagon? It's a gold octagon this week on the top of her hat.
Aha, it is, yeah.
Yes. So, she's bringing the kids hot cocoa and a whole bunch of rice that the trio is just munching down like crazy.
Just scarfing like they haven't eaten in 3 weeks.
They probably haven't. They're probably just, sitting there eating a bunch of grass. I'm joking. They got Brock there, but still. And Ash is like, "Did you see the way that those Growlithe tackled that guy, Brock? Man, those Growlithe are braver than Pikachu." And he's like, "But the officer was holding a gun, so we didn't really expect that it was fake."
Yeah, again, they would have no idea to know that this was just a training exercise. But Ash is still kind of upset with Brock saying that, the Growlithe were braver because, for goodness sakes, Ash has loyalty to his
Pikachu.
Pokemon, his friend, and this is where Ash kind of gets a bug up his butt that's gonna
Make things a whole lot better.
pretty much pay off throughout the episode. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's basically at this point, Brock is really he's saying maybe Pikachu just isn't cut out to be in that type of training. Like basically saying Pikachu's a good Pokemon, but when it comes to following instructions, Pikachu is as good as a rock. Get it?
But and that further than anything is another kind of swipe at Ash, because in not so many words, Brock is basically saying, Pikachu's only as good as its trainer. Never mind the fact that its trainer's sitting right the fuck next to you.
Yes. He's just being a dick. I think at some point they all make slick comments. Like Ash probably behind the scenes did something to Brock, or Brock he dropped his rice into the river, which I guess
that's next week. That's next week. That hasn't happened yet.
Well, maybe he's mad because he feels the bad energy coming, and then it happens. Sabrina taught him some things before he left. So yeah. All right. But it's at this point, after Brock had pushed Ash one too many times, that Ash goes, "You know what? I'm going to train next to my Pikachu and show you that we're tough," just being the little butthole 10-year-old boy. Like, But I'm sorry, like me at 10 years old, I'm not gonna sit there and go through this. I'll Pokemon battle you, but I'm not gonna put my body through all this when all I do 24/7 is walk anyway.
This is also true. But as in the background, or I guess in the foreground of all this, um, Togepi has dropped a piece of food off the table, or I should say towards the edge of the table.
And it's
And
Pikachu's job to save it.
And, so Pikachu goes over, and about the time Pikachu gets to Togepi, Togepi gets the morsel of food and begins to walk back towards its seat. And Pikachu was running full tilt to Togepi, thinking the Togepi was going to topple off the edge. And unfortunately, Pikachu needs to change its brakes because it gets to the edge and tries to, kind of balance itself by doing the arm flaps, but the arm flaps don't work, and Pikachu takes a header.
Yes. I mean, poor Pikachu.
Exactly.
Why
I mean,
is it Misty watching her damn Togepi? Like she's dropping Togepi, which happens later, but she does, and now she's not even looking at Togepi, and freaking Ash of all people, after Pikachu takes a plump to the ground, he's not looking at Pikachu because he's like, where'd Pikachu go?
And Ash should know better than anybody because he got reamed out because Pikachu was choking on a whole apple because he looked away for 1 second.
Yeah. If you're not going to have your Pokemon inside of its Pokeball, Ash, you need to see what your Pokemon's doing at all times.
Well, no, we're not mad at Ash at this point. We're mad at Misty for just letting a baby egg wander off after a piece of food. Like, if Pikachu was the type of Pokemon to stay in a ball when it's not in use or in a battle or whatever,
Pokebee would constantly be hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. Let's. You know what? And I do want to point out that Togepi has not been in a Pokeball. So Misty technically does not own Togepi yet.
Well, she does by law of nature.
Okay.
Because we went through it when she hatched, because as Dexter said, it imprints on the first thing it saw, and because Misty muscled her way in right as Togepi opened its eyes, it was instant motherhood.
Gotcha. Okay, we can go with that too. You're on a roll tonight, Doug.
I'm just full of it.
All right, so we go straight from that to nighttime. And Doug, I'm going to hand this part to you because this part, everybody is sleeping.
Yes, and it's very important to reiterate. Ash said that it will take the training alongside Pikachu to prove that they're both cut out for it in the long run.
Yes.
So we see Misty sleeping with Togepi, we see Brock sleeping on the top bunk, and we see Ash and Pikachu are sharing a bunk. And
Officer Jenny walks in with a whistle.
And she turns the damn pardon me, she turns the damn lights on for the whole bunk. So, I mean, she could have been a little courteous and just sent one of the Growlithes in to wake him up.
Nah, that's no fun, bro.
But instead, she comes in and she wakes him up, and then Ash is like, well, it's only 4 o'clock. I'm going back to... And they roll over. And this is kind of their fault. If they hadn't rolled over, she wouldn't have brought out the whistle. She wouldn't have, because you bring out the whistle at that point. We see kind of Togepi kind of wake up, which has got to suck for Misty, because I don't imagine Togepi's the type of Pokemon that goes right back to sleep.
No.
So, and then Ash and Pikachu fall out of the bunk, so they're up, and then
would you want to watch Ash do this, or would you be the one to go back to sleep?
I'm going back to bed. If I don't have to be up, I have good. Don't break anything.
Yeah. And we we do have to make note that Ash did try to go back to sleep. He looked at Officer Jenny and said, "It's 4 o'clock. I'm going back to sleep." And she just blows that whistle again, telling him to get up.
And I think we see momentarily. We see Brock has gone back to bed, but obviously the curiosity of what exactly Ash got himself into is apparently too much.
Yeah, apparently.
But this could just be a matter of I'm looking too much into it.
We are, but that's our job. But all right,
when they get outside,
Ash is a dick.
Well, when they get out, it's way too light for 4 o'clock.
It is, but
I don't care where you are in the world.
But Ash is a dick. So they're looking on top of, or they're looking at the obstacle course, and Officer Jenny's saying that that's the obstacle course that everyone takes. And Ash looks over at Pikachu and goes, "Pikachu, you can do it." And just throwing Pikachu out there, and Officer Jenny has to be like, "Yo, you're doing this too. The Pokemon has to do it alongside its trainer." And Ash just gets worried, and he's like, "Wait a minute, I have to do this." And Officer Jenny throws the whole Pokemon Master line at him, like, "You want to be a Pokemon Master, you got to stand next to your Pokemon." So, yeah.
Fair point.
So and of course, as soon as that's said, Ash is nervous, but then he's like, "You know what? We can do this, Pikachu.
We can do this, Pikachu, because we have to, because I opened my big mouth."
So Brock has a throwaway line, and he looks over and go, "Oh no!" Misty says she's worried, and Brock says, "Oh no, Pikachu will be okay." And Misty's like, "I meant for Ash." He's like, "Huh? Oh yeah, right."
And I understand, and this kind of follows on next week. We see Misty has a momentary bit of compassion for someone, but I think selfishly Misty's just concerned because if something happens to Ash, how is she going to get her bike back?
Exactly. So we go straight from that to ready, set, go. Gun pop, poof. And the race is off with Officer Jenny and Growlithe and Ash and Pikachu. And they start running, and they're running. Growlithe and Officer Jenny are in the lead, and then Ash and Pikachu start gaining on them. And then they have to come to a complete halt. And Ash is like, "What the hell is this thing?" It's barbed wire that they have to crawl under with a grass field, Doug.
And we see that this is nothing for Growlithe and Officer Jenny. And, to Ash's credit, he looks like he's doing all right. And then he's talking to Pikachu, and Pikachu's not responding. And he looks over, and poor Pikachu's got his tail stuck.
Oh, I felt so bad for that, for Ash's Pikachu.
I mean, okay, it can't be pleasant to have your tail stuck, especially in barbed wire.
Yes.
But Pikachu's first reaction
is to thundershock.
Was fuck this, I'm shocking everything.
And turns the whole barbed wire into an electrical fence.
And, Ash at this point really should have some kind of a rubber suit that he just wears out in the field.
You would think his clothes would just be rubber. Well, I guess at this point, at the level that Pikachu is, Pikachu shouldn't be shocking you anymore. At least you would think.
This is also true. And what happened to those rubber gloves?
He put them away. He trusts Pikachu.
We haven't seen them since the pilot.
I know.
I think. Maybe the second episode. Definitely the pilot, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And we come to we come to the next obstacle, which is a climbing wall, which once again, Growlithe and Officer Jenny get over with no problem.
No, I want to point this out. Officer Jenny is doing this in straight up black heels.
Yes. That was a good catch that I did not notice until I had it paused.
She climbed that wall in freaking heels.
Yes, but Chris, if she's not wearing heels, how are we supposed to know she's a woman?
Give her boobs.
No, we only give boobs to the men.
According to Pokemon logic, yes. So after Officer Jetty and Growlithe get over, Ash gets up to the wall, and it's at this point we find out Ash can't climb.
Yeah, because he says, well, it's a fucking wall. How hard can it be? He gets up. Apparently he gets up, probably less than halfway. And he falls off.
And then
he's like, well, all right, one more time. And he goes and he gets to the top.
But he doesn't have enough body strength to pull himself over, so he falls. And then he falls on Pikachu.
As he's falling, Pikachu's going, Pika, running in a circle. Just run further, either left or right. If he's running in a circle, like he's like, and
I blame Pikachu for getting squished, and then out of nowhere, Pikachu's like, Pee! And Ash, he sends off another thunder shock, and Ash is like, Pikachu! But we have to make the assumption that things just didn't pan out, or maybe it did, because we're now with Ash and Pikachu leaning and sitting on a bench.
Yeah, Pikachu is on the bench, passed out. Ash is, like you said, leaning against it. He's not even sitting on it at this point.
No.
And, you get the standard, K-9 training is tough. And I think, it's one of them. Brock or Misty asked if he's still going through with it. And Ash is like, of course I'm going through with it. I'm stubborn and
I'm 10 years old.
Can't nobody tell me what to do.
And then, of course, what is an episode of Pokemon without Team Rocket, Doug? Team Rocket comes crashing through their brick wall that keeps all the wildlife from coming into the police station. And the car is in the shape of a Growlithe, a big fuzzy Growlithe, like that kind you will see in Dumb and Dumber.
Good shot. Exactly. It basically is.
Yeah.
It's that van.
So, and then they come popping out because it's now their plan to steal the Growlithe, but they have a special plan, Doug.
Well, I think we should take note of the fact that they got the whole freaking motto out.
Yes, they did. With the Meowth, that's right.
Exactly, which is something that I've come to realize in watching almost the majority of season 1 at this point is a rarity.
Yes, it is. Because they always get interrupted, or people just don't want to listen to it.
Or they get to the end and Meowth just has a fuck off line or something. Or it just doesn't fit, but we just get straight up Meowth, that's right. And, obviously the commotion of a vehicle crashing through the wall alerts everybody, and Officer Jenny and the Growlithes come running.
Yes. And when they come running and they're surrounding Team Rocket is sitting there and they're just all smug face. And the trio is just looking and they're like, they're going to try to steal all these Growlithe. And Brock's like, they're crazy for breaking into a police station. Are they nuts? And Meowth is starting to get nervous. He's like, these police Pokemon really give me the creeps. And Meowth looks up at Jesse and James and is basically like, I don't want to do this anymore. Let's get some cat friendly Pokemon doing the whole cats are afraid of dogs spiel. And Jesse blatantly looks down and just calls Meowth a coward. And brings up the fact that if as long as they have the Growlithe, they'll have a pack of obedient Growlithe that would do anything that they say, Doug.
Yeah, we get this cute little flashback of, or not flashback, but it's like
a future montage,
like a what if of the Growlithe wearing a little burglar's mask and robbing a bank and pulling off a heist in a helicopter. Becoming like a Growlithe ladder, and
that was pretty neat though. I did like that photo.
Talking about some Mission Impossible stuff.
I know. And speaking of, I this is totally off topic, but I had this survey thing that says whatever movie was the number one box office movie, I think it said for the year 2000 is how the rest of your year is going to go. And it was freaking Mission Impossible 2.
Oh, so not even the first one.
No. So I was just like, of course. But my year is going pretty good, so I can't really complain.
Well, I think everybody's doing pretty well. I mean, again, y'all are hearing this. What did we figure? First week of August?
Yes. Around the last week of July, first week of August.
So full crowds have been a thing for probably almost going on 2 months at this point, probably.
Yep.
I know, baseball in the city of Chicago is going to be full, I think, by the end of this week as we're recording it.
Yes.
WWE's going back on the road in, mid-July.
Yeah. So everything is getting back to normal, Doug.
States are fully opening up. Meanwhile, you look at the news in certain countries and it's a different story, but since we're so America centric,
Yep, we're getting back to normalcy. So, but yeah, at this point, they go through the montage and then they're like, we'll be the richest criminals of all time. The queen and king, the cat, and freaking Officer Jenny just blares out to them and it's like, these Growlithe will not listen to you. And then freaking Jesse and James have what seems to be gas of a gloom, and then they put on all of these face masks while they're getting ready to spray it out.
And they just pollute the air with this gas, and everybody starts coughing, and one of them points out that now with the gas, the Growlithe won't be able to use their sense of smell,
and they use Psyduck's metamorphosis and sprays that into the air.
And everybody kind of looks like zones out of it, and then Meowth is like, "What does this gas do?" And we hear Meowth's voice is extremely high, and
it's basically laughing gas.
And then everybody basically turns into chipmunks, and there's a really cute moment of Pikachu's pulling on Ash's leg to try to get his attention, and this is the first time Pikachu hears its voice, and Pikachu's like, "Oh shit!"
So the whole point of all this is, so we had the gas to where they huffed it in and they can't smell anything anymore, and then they spray this stuff, the laughing gas, which changes everybody's voice. But both of these things are key because now Officer Jenny can't control her Growlithe because the Growlithe only go by the sound of her voice. They don't listen to her specifically because that's not how they were trained.
Correct.
Team Rocket then brings out a blowhorn, and the blowhorn sounds just like Officer Jenny. Doug?
Yeah. It's got like a few voice modulation settings, and like you said, they set it to Officer Jenny, and it sounds completely perfect. And
They tell the Growlithe to sit, beg, lie down, and all the Growlithe are doing it.
and I think we missed the crucial costume change that we did get.
Yeah, Team Rockets, when they got the blowhorn, changed into Officer Jenny costumes. Straight
Yes.
up.
Like
With the same little logo that she has for this
yeah, they even got the freaking
hexagon.
octagon hat.
Octagon. Sorry.
Octagon, hectagon, pentagon. I really can't count them. Some kind of gon. And the Growlithe end up tying up Officer Jenny, and
James has
she's
bigger boobs than Jenny does.
well, we've established this many episodes ago.
I'm just saying in this episode.
Well, I mean, if he's going to dress up, he's going to commit.
Well, we've seen that.
Yeah.
So
So they tie Jenny up. They don't like tie her to a chair. She's just tied up. So she's like, she can still walk. She just can't do anything.
Yeah.
Of course, they're all buggered as long as their voices are messed up. And then the Growlithe corner our trio, and Ash is like, well, we'll just have to battle our way out.
which is bullshit.
But then
Ash realizes that he forgot his Pokemon on top of the bed before he started training. So, poo. But he has Pikachu right there.
and Pikachu realizes it. It's like, kind of like Meowth a couple episodes ago when they were doing that battle for the rights of Togepi. Meowth has this realization of,
Oh,
I am a Pokemon.
I can't wait until we get in, like next season when we get into Meowth's origin story. I can't wait to go into that.
Yes.
That's such a good episode.
That is a good episode now that you're saying that. Like I'm getting like bits and pieces.
So, it's Pikachu, and this is bullshit, by the way, because I'm about to point out something that kind of irritates me. But Ash, Pikachu, shocks the ground, and Jesse's like, "Oh, you think you can control your Pikachu? Well, watch this." Goes into the bus, the Growlithe-looking bus, comes out in Ash's exact outfit that he wears with a Pokemon League trainer hat.
Yes. So, just how special is Ash's hat? Because he made reference that, what was it? Box tops?
Yeah, he had to get so many of these box tops and in order to send it in, and he was able to get one of these special hats, which was limited edition.
So how special is this hat, for goodness sake?
I don't know. They went on eBay the first week eBay was available. I have no idea.
Right? So they basically Jesse tries to do the same thing to Pikachu that they were able to do with the Growlithe, but Pikachu's not having any of it. Like, recognizes Ash through not the content of his voice, but the content of his character in not so many words.
But my thing is, I'm so pissed off at this episode because even though Jesse is using the blowhorn with Ash's voice, it had to second guess for a second. But are these Pokemon not stupid? Like, Pikachu clearly knows who Ash is and knows what Team Rocket is trying to do because he just jumped up and electrocuted the ground that the Growlithe were on. How do the Growlithe not know Officer Jenny?
I think up to this point, I think we're to assume that the Growlithes were not bred for, or not raised for companionship. They were raised to be part of the Force.
Yeah.
So they're trained to obey the uniform and obey the voice.
Yeah, I guess so.
And because Team Rocket was just up there checking boxes, the Growlithe said, well, fuck it.
But all right, so it's at this point that the Growlithe are still taking orders from Jesse. And Jesse uses the blowhorn, switches it back over to Officer Jenny, and says, Growlithe, get that Pokemon or get that Pikachu and its trainer now. And all the Growlithe go in, getting ready to attack and bite Pikachu and the trio. And Pikachu just jumps up, and it doesn't even seem like Pikachu gave a really that big of a thunder shock, but it sure fried the mess out of all these Growlithe.
I was going to say, just based on the fact that there was 10 of them, it has to be pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, and we do see a bit of a light show in the distance.
Yeah. Now that the episode's playing through, yeah, we get a whole light show. So Pikachu was laying it in on these Growlithe. I think it laid it in on these Growlithe one too many times. But,
well, and we see that because when Pikachu lands, it collapses.
Yes. And Ash has enough nerve to run over and go, Pikachu, what's wrong? And
what's wrong?
Fucking Pikachu is dizzy from using too much electricity is what's wrong. But from that, these Growlithe
bill for all that electric use.
These Growlithe should be Arcanine at this point because they're just down and they took all the Thunder Shock from Pikachu. So these are some high level Growlithe. And then we get probably the most funniest part in this whole entire episode was they're just sitting there. Everything goes black around them and there's a spotlight on the ground. Jigglypuff walks over into the frame and goes, Jigglypuff, and then just walks off.
And that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
She could have easily done the song and everybody would have passed out. And then maybe when everybody woke up, maybe the gas would have worn off.
She
just says
she was intimidated.
Well, to be fair, she did have 10 vicious dogs staring her down.
Yes. And Ash
so she's like,
oh, I'm sorry.
So she's like, I will see y'all next week.
Yeah, and Ash looks up and goes, nice song, Jigglypuff? Like, Jigglypuff had no chance with all these Growlithe.
Or should you say no chancey?
Yeah, no chancey. Good one. Are you happy about that one?
Not particularly.
But it's at this point that Officer Jenny is talking to all the Growlithe. The Growlithe are still not listening to her. And Jesse goes, attack her. And one of the Growlithe jumps up and just starts biting the hand of Officer Jenny. And Officer Jenny is just whimpering, but she's staring it in the eye. And they're both meeting eyes. And Doug, what happens next?
And then we have a flashback of Officer Jenny caring for this Growlithe as a puppy and cute little Growlithe and running around with it and caring for it when it was sick, and you can see that Jenny can tell that the Growlithe is thinking, and then the Growlithe kind of snaps out of it and licks Officer Jenny's hand, and they hug, and Growlithe is licking the ear, and apparently that one Growlithe snapping out of it was enough for all of them to snap out of it.
Yeah. Well, not even just that, but Officer Jenny's voice starts to come back as well.
Well, this is also true, but I was more focused on the heartwarming moment that we were having. I wasn't even... And like I say, I'm watching it now, but I think even as I watched the episode to prepare for this, I don't think I clocked the fact that the gas was wearing off. I think I was lost in the moment.
Gotcha. Okay. And it's at this point that the Growlithe are not listening to Jesse and James anymore in their outfits, and they're screaming at it, and their blowhorns are starting to go out. They look over at Team Rocket, and Team Rocket is freaking out. Meowth gets scared again. He uses the whole scaredy cat mentality that he was using earlier in the episode and just speeds off in the dog truck. And Jesse and James are like, "What the hell are you doing? Come back here." And Meowth is like, "They should have known that I'm a scaredy cat."
Yeah, so he's gone, and then as Team Rocket is running away, they get bit on the butt by two Growlithes, and then we have a reunion with all the Growlithes and Officer Jenny, and then we get the stereotypical our heroes leaving a town goodbye.
Yes. And that's how we end this week's episode. No real progression, no real anything. It was just an off filler episode, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, and we get a real sappy ending. Pikachu didn't have to train with the K-9 squad to be a perfect Pokemon. I like Pikachu just the way it is. Officer Jenny says something along the lines of, "You saw what's in each other's hearts." And that's all that matters. And then, we pet the Growlithes and everybody's happy and everybody goes their separate ways. And like you said, they're still looking for, pardon me, we're still looking for Cinnabar Island at this point.
Yes.
But then, right before we do the old fade out into the Pokérap, we do get a moment of hilarity because Brock has the megaphone.
He stole the Officer Jenny megaphone.
And he's using it to basically give himself compliments. And what's the end? And then Misty calls Brock pathetic.
And Brock is like, because Brock didn't mean to have them here. He was just trying to test it out off on the side, trying to be slick.
And Officer Jenny starts laughing. And pardon me, we see our heroes walking and everybody's happy, and Brock still he's still got the megaphone, which I'm just now realizing. And he's looking down at it, and Ash kind of gives him the side. Well, actually, he does drop it, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then, but then right before we do go to the Pokérap, we get Jigglypuff poking out from behind a tree, giving everybody the, because anybody knows if there's anything worse than a Jigglypuff, it's a Jigglypuff with a megaphone.
Yes. So that's the episode. So Doug, on your Duggo-meter this week, what would you give this episode out of 5 stars?
Well, considering I kind of got shit on next week.
Hey, don't let that persuade you.
Well, I mean, because I like the episode, but it's much of the same. There's no progression. There's no, Ash doesn't catch a Pokemon, doesn't really make a friend. I mean, how much can you consider, an Officer Jenny in a random town your friend?
Yeah.
So I would probably say like a 3.5.
Okay. All right, that's not terrible. All right, I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a 3 because like you said, no progression in the storyline. We're gonna blink and next week is gonna happen, and we're not even gonna know anything. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Okay, no, never mind. I was thinking something totally different. But yeah, we're gonna blink and this will never be brought up ever again.
No, I mean, not so much as, hey, remember that time we're all surrounded by Growlithe? Nope, just
Nothing.
happened.
So, all right. Well, this was a good episode, but before we do end today, I do want to remind everyone we will be a triplet podcast next week with our friend Mel coming back. So don't miss next week's episode.
Next week's episode.
Next week's episode.
And if you enjoy our episodes when we have guests, I think you'll get a real kick out of this one because, as we said at the beginning, yes, Mel is a guest, but she's first and foremost a personal friend of ours.
Yes.
So there's a different level of comfort that we haven't had before with a guest on an episode.
Yes.
So I would go as far as to say next week's episode is a little more freewheeling than usual.
Especially guest wise. So yeah, you will enjoy it. So do you have anything else to add to this week's episode, Doug?
No, other than as we often do, peeling back the curtain. I think you mentioned that this is the second of a 2-episode shot, even though, because we backtracked. So I've really enjoyed this week of recording. I'm really looking forward to see the reception of
Mel,
for sure, because I'm always curious about how our guests' episodes do. But like I said, just because, like I say, next week is a guest, but it's also hella loose, and
it's fun.
We had fun doing it, and I think that comes through in the recording. So yeah, really excited to have people hear that in, 2 months?
Yes.
So yeah.
So all right. Well, oh wow, I'm excited because as of this recording, Rich is coming up this upcoming Friday for the Song of Jigglypuff. That's gonna be awesome. But you've already heard that, everybody. So all right, well then say goodbye, Doug.
Holy shit, way to confuse people.
I know.
Goodbye, Doug.
And this is Wrestling Chris G telling all of you, don't miss our triplet episode next week. Have a good night, everybody.